Welcome to a special report on President Trump's One Big, Beautiful Bill, a sprawling tax and spending package that has just seen significant roadblocks in the Senate. The Senate parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough, has struck down key Republican provisions, potentially reshaping what this legislation means for millions of Americans. One of the biggest blows came to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The parliamentarian ruled against barring non-citizens and non-lawful permanent residents from receiving food assistance. She also rejected a controversial Republican proposal to shift a percentage of SNAP costs onto states based on their error rates in delivering aid. This particular ruling is a major win for Republican Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, who had strongly opposed the measure, making it easier for the bill to gain their crucial support. The original Senate draft would have forced states to pay between 5% and 15% of food benefits by 2028, potentially costing states like North Carolina hundreds of millions of dollars. These provisions were found to violate the Byrd Rule, which dictates what can be included in a reconciliation package that only requires a simple majority vote. If these Byrd Rule violations aren't removed, the bill will need 60 votes to pass, a much tougher hurdle for Republicans. Beyond SNAP, the parliamentarian also rejected extending the suspension of Permanent Price Support Authority, a traditional part of the Farm Bill, and provisions like allocating $250 million to Coast Guard stations in South Padre Island, Texas, and $85 million for transferring a space shuttle to a Texas nonprofit. So, what does this mean for your wallet? The core of the bill is to maintain the 2017 tax cuts and introduce new changes. One positive adjustment for many taxpayers is extra inflation indexing for most income tax brackets, potentially lowering your tax bill. The widely used standard deduction is also set to become more generous, with an additional $1,000 for single filers and $2,000 for married couples, which could save a typical household hundreds of dollars. However, there are significant concerns, especially regarding healthcare. Proposed changes to Medicaid, including new requirements for recipients and potential new tax formulas for states, could lead to millions losing health coverage. The expiration of enhanced tax credits for Affordable Care Act exchange plans could add another 16 million people to the uninsured population by 2034. The bill also tackles tips and overtime pay, offering deductions that aim to deliver on campaign promises. The House version proposes a deduction equal to the amount of tips or overtime, while the Senate caps the tip deduction at $12,500 per individual or $25,000 for married couples, with income limitations. For homeowners, the contentious state and local tax, or SALT, deduction is a key point. The House proposes raising the cap to $40,000 for certain income levels, while the Senate currently keeps the $10,000 cap, though negotiations are ongoing. Seniors 65 and older could see a bonus deduction, with the Senate proposing up to $6,000 and the House $4,000. These deductions are designed as a workaround for President Trump's promise to eliminate taxes on Social Security income, which cannot be addressed through the reconciliation process. Finally, the estate tax exemption limit is set to increase significantly to $15 million for individuals and $30 million for married couples, a permanent change that will impact very few estates. As the Senate grapples with these revisions, public sentiment is mixed. A Pew Research Center poll shows nearly half of Americans believe the bill will negatively affect them, while only a quarter foresee a positive impact. The path forward for One Big, Beautiful Bill is uncertain, but its impact on millions of Americans remains undeniable. We will continue to track this evolving story. Money Explainers.